Hey, Robert, how are you? Good night. Welcome. Well, we're going to roll into the roundtable session right now, so feel free to ask any questions that you have. I'll be here for 30 minutes and happy to answer any questions at all that you may have regarding starting a business, or if you're already in an existing business, happy to help. Hi, Robert. Good night. How are you? Robert, I was just, if you didn't hear, you can certainly feel free to ask any questions that you have. You can click unmute at the bottom, and you're welcome to ask any questions you have. Happy to provide any advice and answer any questions. If you'd prefer, you can also type in your questions into the chat, and feel free to ask any questions at all that you might have. In the meantime, we will wait for more people to hopefully join, and we can get conversations rolling.
Hey, Judd.
Hey, Robert.
I just new, and I just want to to know how to start this business, because as I heard this Asphalt Kingdom, it won't get on my mind to start or to get in that business. So right now I am trying to watch all your videos just to start on learning, because
Great.
I think working outside is my it's my I like to work outside.
Yeah, I like to work outside as well. It's nice. Where are you located, Robert?
I am located right now in Canada.
Cool. Whereabouts in Canada?
I am in Whitby.
In Whitby, Ontario.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. I used to live in Toronto. Yeah, I used to live in downtown Toronto, but originally from Montreal. And yeah, we definitely did a lot of seal coating in the Canadian area.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're planning on starting a business, the first and foremost is that you want to make sure that you have obviously made a decision that you want to explore building a service-based business. And when you explore wanting to build a service-based business, you want to understand what you kind of need in order to achieve that, what kind of framework you need. And so what I would recommend that you do is that you first and foremost identify the area that you're wanting to work. Are you wanting to work in the Whitby area? Is that what you're thinking? Or in the outskirts of the GTA?
I am thinking to work anywhere else.
In where?
In anywhere else, even on the side town, but not only in the Whitby.
Got it.
But I think I'm just going to start on this area because I was live here, so I might be more popular on the area.
Got it. Yeah. And so are you looking for, have you gone through our Build Your Own Business Blueprint, the 9-part video series? Have you gone through, our YouTube channel and really explored a lot of the videos there? Do you find that this is something that you really are at a point where you're considering starting this in spring of 2022?
Yes, I already did that one through help of one of the customers representative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool.
actually, we should meet this afternoon through a Google Meet, but unfortunately, I think it's not available.
Got it. There was a meeting that you had set up?
Yeah, I already set up, and I think he helped me to set it up.
Got it. Yeah, it would be interesting to explore, speaking together on the opportunity. One of the things I'll ask is, do you have a truck or a trailer at this time?
At this time, not. No, I don't have. But I'm planning to get one by this coming April. I want to have right now, but I can do that because on April I have some mortgage to close, so I don't want it to affect on my mortgage.
Got it. So you're going to wait for the mortgage to close, and then you're going to lease a truck or get a loan for a truck.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And have you ever done any door-to-door sales? Have you ever done any, do you have any sales experience at all?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had the chance to, the chance to look at our sales strategy guide? Hey, Rod, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Cool. Cool. Yeah, Robert's considering starting a business this spring, so we're just going through a little bit here.
Awesome.
Yeah. But Robert, I think that, you know, well, relating to your question, do you have any sales experience? And if so, what kind of sales experience do you have?
Before we are selling the house appliances, like on
Cool.
if you heard the Carico product, those air purifier, mattress, and something like that. So we do attend sometimes we knocking on the door. Sometimes we do attend one conference to go on the sales.
Got it. And do you have any marketing experience at all?
No.
That's okay. That's fine. Have you watched any videos that we have about branding?
Yes.
You saw the one with Alex Lucic with Black and Yellow Pavement?
Yeah. That is from Toronto,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's built a beautiful company. I would say to you, man, honestly, what you need to do if you've made the decision to truly get started. What's up, buddy? If you've truly made the decision, Robert, to move forward in building your own business, what I strongly urge you to do is start getting your branding put together right now while it's the right time, because what's going to happen is we're saying this right. I'll say this right now. It might not feel like April already, but April's almost here. It's going to happen really fast. You're going to move into season. You're going to move into season rapidly. So time is of the essence to you right now. Obviously, being in Canada, you have a short season to be able to work with to make the hay. And so I strongly urge you to get all your ducks lined up in a row right now. So if you were to write a note down right now, the first note that I would write down is get your Facebook business page set up, get your Instagram business page set up, get a quick splash page of a website up. You can set up a free website, or you can, have somebody build one for you. You can go to Odesk or Fiverr or Upwork, these different freelance platforms, and you can get a website, a quick page put up for, let's say, $250 or $300, and at least have some credibility established in the digital world, because we are 2022. So you want to be established from a credibility perspective, meaning that you're not shy or afraid to put yourself out there and be recognized. If a company goes out and attempts to deliver proposals and the client doesn't close on the spot, of course that can be there could be a situation where they go to research online. And so having that collateral is going to be very important for you to help move the client towards a conversion. The other thing too is I would get your t-shirts prepped, and I would get your branding done, get your baseball caps done, maybe get some jackets done, for when you're out and you're in the field for your, when you're going to do the work. I would also strongly recommend, that you also make sure you've got a company that you've creating a legal entity, and that you've got insurance. You definitely want to have liability insurance. The last thing you want to do is be on a property and something goes wrong and all of a sudden you're liable, and that can put you at risk. And I would start doing that, and I would start running my Facebook ads, like geo-targeting where you want to work with Facebook ads, and getting a good ad together about asphalt and maintenance and the services that you provide. That can be literally a selfie video of you on a parking lot or driveway. And then what you do is you geo-target those ads to a certain area, and that will generate some marketing qualified leads for you. I would start running those ads probably in like middle of March, early March, based upon you just starting out. I wouldn't start earlier than that, because I say this a lot of the time, you got to slow down to speed up. You don't want to all of a sudden overwhelm yourself and kind of ruin your reputation right out of the gate because you can't service people in a timely fashion because you're just getting started. So I would do it with very low Facebook budgets, maybe $5 a day. And an ad run that might run for, let's say, a week, and then revisit the leads that came from that and see how that works out for you. And then I would also spend time with, there's a video that I have on YouTube about door-to-door sales that I did a long time ago, like a long time ago.
I
And
watched that video.
So I would role play that, man. I would literally, I would just practice your style and, that kind of a presentation. And I would do that with your family. I would do that with, your friends, and actually just role play and get used to the flow of the conversation and represent yourself professionally. And I'll say this, as a starting point. I mean, I've given you a lot there, but I would say this, Robert. Be professional, be professional, in everything that you do. Be as professional as you possibly can. Build a real business. Don't build a business that might just be something that is something that you might treat like a weekend gig or something. Like, if you're going to go into this, if you're going to truly go into this thing, go in and study the videos, and not just our stuff, but speak with other people in the industry. Hop on Instagram and communicate with. We have such a cool community in the social media world now, where you can communicate with so many different people and gain perspectives from different people that are out there in the field who have been there and done that. Because if you're planning on starting, you're probably going to start, and the other people in the industry, there's literally asphalt everywhere. It's all over the place. Asphalt's all over, but it needs to be, the industry standard needs to be there so that we can move that in a position that's good and not hurting it. We want to keep the industry throttling forward. So reach out to people, that you might see in the videos, reach out to people you might not see in the videos. And, there's local companies too that might be, they might not be in the Whitby area, but they might be like Black and Yellow Pavement, for example. It might be Alex, and you go spend a day with him and his crew helping out, and you can talk to him about those kind of things, and he might be okay with that. He might not. I don't know, but I would recommend that you gain a few perspectives from different people. I'm only here to give you my perspective and my experience, but really do some more research. It's not just, Action Seal and Asphalt Kingdom. It's not just that. There's many others, and there's many other. Rod, what would you say about this, man?
Well, I would definitely say, I've been listening. I'll give you a quick spin to see how good your memory is.
Yeah.
This time last year, we spoke on the phone for the very first time. And last year was my first year in the business, and had an amazing year. But I really do give all the credit to you, from watching all the YouTube videos, from all your information and all of your guidance, and just, it's so much to take in. Just don't get yourself overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Because if you get yourself overwhelmed, then it's going to lead to another problem, into another problem, into another problem. So just relax, take it slow. Quality is the best job. You have to have quality work, and then everything else will lead, fall into place. But like you said, if you're going to truly get into this, truly get into it. I mean, if you're looking for a side gig, then probably not going to make it, because you're not going to give your total 100% to it.
All right. Thank you. It's nice.
It's that, I mean, that advice right there, man, is so true. It's like, it's called crawl, walk, run, right? Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't try to grow too quickly. Do it in a controlled, non-chaotic fashion, and really do it in a way that's Rod, you said it, like, comfortable. Do it comfortable. And you're going to feel, in small business, as we grow it, we're going to feel pain. We're going to feel things that are going to pop up that we never would have expected. I mean, Dom Manzo, a good buddy of mine, he's local seal coating in Long Island. He started out with a tote spray system, and that's how he started out. And that's what he had the financial means to be able to do when he first got started. And the hose blew off the tote, like it literally blew off the tote, something hit it, and there was sealer everywhere. And so, you know, things are going to happen in any business that, you know, if you have playbooks ahead of time and try to set things up so that you know, that story right there, what can you do to make sure that, you know, that tote isn't spilling sealer out all over the place? Well, you know that there's a cam lock valve on the bottom of the tote that shuts it off. Rather than you trying to stick the hose back on, you better close the valve first, and then you make sure that also you have access to water in cases that, you know, you're dealing with stuff like that. Having water supply on hand when you're out seal coating is something really, really important. Yes. But yeah, that's, you know, that's kind of, you just, you know, you're going to deal with stuff, and the way you deal with that stuff is, you know, instead of panicking when something pops up, when you're dealing with that adversity and the challenge, do it in a controlled fashion, and shit happens. You'll clean it up, it'll get fixed, and you'll move on to the next job and make it right. And, you know, and that's kind of my thinking. Good night, Roger, James, welcome guys.
It's gonna happen. Accidents are gonna happen. You can have, like, we had all brand new equipment last year because I had built the seal coating truck, all new hoses, all new everything. We're out doing a job. I was spraying, and the hose just blew off. And like you said, sealer went everywhere. I mean, thank God we was in the middle of a parking lot, you know. But again, like you spoke on earlier, insurance, because you never know what's going to happen or where. And that's just a prime example. Even though we had new hose, it blew off. So, I mean, that was just a prime example of, you never know when it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
100%. Yeah. And so I would really focus on your sales, focus on your marketing, make sure that you have your presentations, you know, tuned, role playing, and making sure that your digital footprint's there. Make sure you have your insurance, your company, make sure that you formed a company. And I would really, I mean, I recommend doing that, but some people, you know, they don't form a company right away and they just do it under their person, but I strongly recommend forming the company. You don't want your person to be attached to something that could be a legal nightmare if something goes wrong ever. So create that company, form that company. And then make sure too that, like, when you're going out with your equipment for the first time, a lot of guys go straight out with a full tank of sealer, and they go and do their very first job with sealer, and that's okay. But I would strongly recommend using water first and really practicing on your own driveway or a friend's driveway with water. And then anytime you're going to go out with sealer for the very first time, if it's not your own driveway, maybe it's a family member or a friend's driveway, it's a lot easier to say I'm sorry and fix a problem with somebody who really cares about you and the future of your business. So I strongly recommend doing that. Your reputation in this business is everything. You're not going to be a company that's going to be a fly-by-night company. You're going to be a company that's going to establish credibility, rapport, build a nice brand, build hopefully lifelong customers, and become their pavement asset manager rather than just a guy that's going to go and seal coat their driveway one time, right? You want to build these lifelong accounts and relationships. So hopefully that helps give you some guidance. I do want to open up, Roger, James, welcome if there's any questions. And Rod, if you have any questions, guys, we're here to freestyle. You can unmute yourself. You can ask questions in the chat. You can go to the reactions down in the very bottom of your screen and raise your hand. I mean, whatever. I'm here, guys. So I'm an open book with you guys. I'll lift the hood and tell you, I don't know everything, but I know some things. I've been in the industry for now going on 23 years. And 42 years old, raised my son through my three sons, my first son through the service industry where I was seal coating and doing crack repair. And then of course we moved into more of the retail world of asphalt maintenance and supply and helping people to build businesses. James, do you have a question, James?
Yes, I do.
Great.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm currently from the Bahamas, and I would love, I've been watching your videos for the past 4 weeks now, and I was getting, very excited. I saw that you do the seal coating. And I saw where you had like the Billy Davidson guy doing the striping. It's my first time looking into this type of industry, and I see the potential. And I would also, it's my first time ever. I've never done it. I just want to know if you think I should have the confidence to just go dive right into this type of industry.
It's a good question. First off, thanks, man. You're in Bahamas. I love the Bahamas. Are you what island? What island are you in?
Island of Abaco, one that got destroyed from Hurricane Dorian.
Yes, I know it. I travel to Great Exuma often, so I know the Bahamas quite well. I'm actually located in Anguilla, just north of St. Martin, in the Caribbean. But
That's nice.
yeah, it is, man. James, listen. The question about like jumping right into the business, just completely wet behind the ears and just go, I wouldn't recommend just doing that. What I would recommend that you do is you watch as many videos about what service you're wanting to jump into, and really study the machines that are related to the application. So if it's striping, for example, watch the videos on the equipment that you're considering. If you're unsure of the equipment that you'd like to purchase, then of course I'm happy to help advise as to what you could start with, and then evolve into other invest into other machines that as your business scales. But I would say there's a really cool course. We did a deal with Billy Davidson where we did the all pro striping course. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but yeah. So there's the how to price a line striping job for $199, but the all pro is I think it's priced roughly around $600 or something. But I mean, it's literally hours upon hours and hours of video course of literally the all pro course, starting from the very beginning all the way through to striping commercial plazas and really multiple site visits in that course and everything. I'm a huge fan. We don't give that course away for the simple fact that the people that we give away the course generally get a portion of the way through and don't really care. They don't become actually passionate about it. When you invest into something, you're most likely to spend a lot more time in detail going through it. And the outcome of going through something like that is that you now have what you need to really make your purchase. There's nothing stopping you at that point, other than if it's a financial. There's nothing stopping you from pulling the trigger and buying the piece of equipment and lining up your jobs and having the confidence that you need. As I said earlier to Robert, I would have your marketing presence, your digital marketing. Same thing as I said to Robert, you might have not been here, but your Facebook business page, your Instagram professional profile, your LinkedIn, have a YouTube channel, and just be you speaking about being you can even say, I'm, starting a company and I'd love the opportunity to work with you, and be honest and transparent with your audience and build a business. And as you're going out to do this for the first time, whether it's crack repair, seal coating, or line striping, it's not going to take you that long to learn how to do the applications, honestly. James, it won't take you long to learn it. But what it will take is it will take some time. And that's like anything. You're building a business, so it's going to take time. But if you stay dedicated and you stay determined with interest and progress, and you carry that passion through it, you're going to do great. And I would do that with people that first. I would practice on areas that first, and then it might be your property, it might be a friend's property, a family property. I would start like that. And if you're striping, man, there's ways of putting, you could use old roof shingles, you could use cardboard and really lay that down and do that, do the application like that. We even have clients that will, again, use water as testing. Instead of spraying yellow paint all over something, you have water that you're doing your water tests, and really try to get those crisp lines along chalk lines that you might be snapping on lots and stuff. But does that help at all, James?
Yes, sir, it does. Very much, Rob.
Cool. Yeah, and I mean, the cool thing is, like, even in Anguilla here, asphalt is everywhere. Like, man, like honestly, it's pandemic resistant. I say this often, it's pandemic resistant, it's recession resistant. I've gone through this stuff since I was 19 years old, more than half my life. And it just has not, the industry has not slowed down. I think the industry is actually improving. It's getting better, and asphalt needs to be maintained. It needs to be preserved, protected. It needs to be kept safe. And if your presentation is based upon the true intention of solving problems and giving people the value rather than a sales pitch, if you're truly there to help a property owner with their pavement assets and prolong its life, keeping it safe and stuff, you're going to win. You're going to do very well.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, James. Hey, Roger, how's it going? Rod, any questions, Roger? Anybody?
Yeah, I have a question for you. I don't know if you would know this answer or not, but I was thinking, we did quite a bit of city work this year for our first year. Now, is there any, besides, I think it's called I-Square. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Is there any other websites around that you can, that you can go and bid on and stuff like that?
It's interesting. And you're talking about like municipal bidding, like to bid on municipal stuff?
Yes.
How did you find that when you did that city work? What was your experience with doing it and getting paid and everything? How did you find it? Did you find it was profitable for you? Were you content with that customer vertical?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was very profitable for us. Plus it led into more work for them once they seen the work, the quality work that we do. And then now he's the guy who we dealt with for the city is good friends with another guy in the city next to them. So hopefully that opens the door this spring and summer for us to go and do that also. But we was, I bidded on some Walmarts, and we got the job for one of them. But then we was wanting to broaden and to see if we can get some other ones, but we didn't know exactly where to start looking.
Yeah. Just
for, like what I said earlier. And I didn't know if there was any other entities besides that you might have know of, or, because I know you got to pay to get on some of these and stuff like that.
Yeah. So the way that I've found tremendous success is actually going to the person who is responsible rather than a vendor portal. And so like for school districts and for a lot of municipal stuff, you actually have to go to their website, you fill out the vendor information, you fill out all your information as a vendor, and then you get put into a system and they assign keywords. So if somebody's searching in the system or they're sending an RFQ, request for quote, it ends up getting sent out to your email, along with other people that of course are in the industry that are they're going to bid against you, or they're not. The interesting thing is in this industry, you're going to find a lot of the time that people will do the vendor portal stuff and then they won't actually put out a bid, which is kind of interesting because a lot of people don't have the time, or they might not believe that they'll ever win, the bid will ever win. And so people tend to lack to do that. I've got a cool story I'll tell you after about this, where it was like a $190,000 deal and it was wild. I'll tell you about it. But so basically, relationships are relationships are relationships.
Absolutely.
A vendor portal is not a relationship, in my opinion.
Oh, and no, because they'll go with anybody.
Right, exactly. And so what I would speak to if you're doing municipal and school districts, and we've done a lot of this, is that you find out the person who is the purchasing manager, and you find out who the actual foreman is, who the groundskeeper is, and really get to know who those people are. And a lot of people, you can call town hall and you can call, municipality, and you can literally ask those questions. And if you're cool and friendly and you're not pitching them, right? You're just building a relationship. You're talking to them like a human being and letting them know that, you're just trying to reach out because you'd love the opportunity to be able to meet, come by town hall and have a meeting, and say hello. And, when you show up, you bring them. Rod, where are you located exactly again? Remind me.
In Lorain, Ohio.
Yeah. So imagine you bring them, you ask if they like coffee, and all of a sudden you bring a coffee over there to them. Right. And
Right.
Sally's sitting there, and she has a Starbucks you bring her a Starbucks, and it's a little gift, a little treat. And you just say, I brought coffee, but whatever it is, right? Sometimes they won't want the coffee, but at least you've made the gesture.
Right.
But go build those relationships. And what you do is you literally ask them, like, you'll come to a point, hey, listen, I'd love the opportunity to do some work for the city here. Who would be best to talk with or speak with about actually doing the bid that will get through to the right person? Who would that be? And you'll get their contact information. And generally those bids that will roll through, there's a decision maker, right? And that decision maker is the one that you want to be connected with on social media. You want to be connected with them on your text message, SMS, on your phone. You want to maintain that relationship. Generally, you're not bribing these people at all. You're not, the coffee's like kind of the limit, I would say, or some chocolates or something like that. But like, I wouldn't ever do like a kickback. I would strongly recommend just, building that relationship and doing it. Here's my point about that story. I was gonna say was, so there was a guy that was, he did exactly what we just said. He went into town hall. He went and spoke with the people at the front desk, and they found out that there was a crack filling project that was 63 kilometers. It was up in Canada, 63 kilometers on 427, and the 63 kilometers of crack sealing. You can imagine, like, what is that? That's 45. That's like 50 miles. No, it's like 40 miles, I guess. And so imagine 40 miles of highway crack sealing that he finds out that there's a request for a bid, but he didn't get it from an email or vendor portal or anything. He found it out by actually going there, and they told him that there's this bid request. And so he goes, well, can I deliver the bid? And she says, yeah, you can deliver the bid. Send it to this email address, and sends the bid into the email address. The guy lands $190,000 crack fill deal, but he has no pumper. He has no crack fill pumper. He does nothing to actually do it. He didn't even have the right number of labormen to do the project. But he secured the contract, and he went and bought a Simline pumper, like a $70,000 pumper, and he bought a truckload of the oil jacketed, another truckload of the oil jacketed, and he went and did the project. And municipal's great; they do pay. Sometimes they're late, but he was able to close a $190,000 deal. And, he walked away on that deal with like $100,000. Well, it was just shy of that, about $80,000 from one deal. And now he owned the pumper. So I would say people, it's everything. And it's okay to write cards to people afterwards if you have their contact information, right? Handwritten cards, guys, huge thing. Build that trust and credibility. But the vendor portals, Rod, I'm not a huge fan of doing it electronically, human.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's so true. You know what I mean? One relationship leads to another relationship, to another relationship, to another relationship. Before you know it, I mean, you'll have all your relationships that you need for what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Because we started off with this one municipality. We started off with the water department. Well, the water department turned into the police station, which was right next door. So then the police station turned into the community center, which was a mile and a half down the road. So the community center turned into the boat ramp launch, which was huge, down the road. So one relationship, next. And then when it was all said and done, after they got invoiced, he calls me literally 15 days later. He's like, hey, Rod, I just want to let you know, if you want to stop by, I have your check for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. So I go over there, and I'm sitting in there talking to him, and he hands me the check, and he's like, hey, I just want to let you know that I watched every move that you made from all the jobs. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because you know how you get a sense of a feeling that, hey, you think you're being watched or something like that, because it's a really tight-knit community out here. You know what I mean? Where we was working at. And everybody knows everybody, and everything's near each other. So, and he was like, yeah, he said, I I had a drone, and I had a drone way up in the sky, and I was watching you from my house, every move that you guys made. And I just want to let you know that you guys did an excellent job, and you have our work. You have our work from here on out.
That's wild. Yeah, no, definitely. People are watching. They're not only watching the job, they're also watching you all over the digital footprint that you have for your company as well. They watch it. People watch you everywhere, man. It's, I mean, you know, yeah. So that's a wild story, and I'm sure those are going to be customers for life. And then of course the referrals that you'll get from that too are phenomenal. So congrats on snowballing.
Yeah, absolutely. He said, you know, I went online, I looked at your website. He was like, I was really impressed with your website. I was really impressed with your previous work. You got pictures, videos, and all this and all that. He said, so that's what, you know, steered me towards you, and then everything led from there.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Roger, Mr. Wells, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Judd. I'm kind of sitting back and just kind of watching. I'm sitting over here in sunny Amarillo, Texas, with a balmy temperature of 22 degrees, thinking, well, what am I going to do with the rest of the winter? I've got a project that I'm getting ready to kick off. It's a crack pouring potholes, and well, I consider myself pretty blessed to have actually been able to fall into something like this. I retired from TxDOT, and you know, the funny thing is, I think, you know, guys, we don't retire. We go from one thing to another. And but I had many years experience doing this kind of stuff, and I thought, well, I mean, I was looking at a whole lot of different things to do. I make belt buckles, and I make spurs, and I mean, Grizzly Adam here, you know, he used to be a cowboy too, and so I know how to make those tools. But well, the little shed over there got a little bit too cold, and it's like, well, I got to find something to do, and I was hearing this story about the guy who got into the crack pouring, and then, you know, when he got the contract, that's when he went out and bought everything. And initially, I thought about going into striping, and it all started with a friend of mine that works. I guess he still works with Chick-fil-A as a delivery guy, and he was on a giant rant about, you know, these people placing orders, and then the thrill of the hunt kicks in, you know, trying to find the address because they don't have numbers on their house, and they don't have. And I thought, I think I'll go out there and I'll hit people up about doing this stuff, doing curb letterings and whatnot. And after the fifth one, crawling around there, I thought, I'm 63 years old. I don't have any business crawling around in the gutter. And so, after the fifth job, I mean, it's like, I'm done, calf rope, let's go try something else. But then I got to thinking, as I was driving through town one day, I thought, look at all these people who need to have their lot striped. So I started out, my first job was a small motel in Claude, Texas, and this guy was, I believe he was an Indian, and he says, well, I've got another friend that has a motel down the way. Yes. And this is how it got started. But I wound up getting a Graco, one of these hand painters, and I built my templates, and I'd lay them out, and I'd spray them in there, and then I'd move the template, well, I kind of got to thinking, once again, 63 years old, man, this got to get easier. And well, ultimately, I bought a walk behind, but it was with all the money that I had made off of the actual physical laying over, leaning over, and you know, honestly, I think there's a few times I actually laid down next to the template. It was good giving it this, and that was at the end of the day, of course. But
Wow.
I really think it's a great idea. You know, if you can actually, if you can dream it, you can make it happen. I mean, it's just as simple as that. I've got 2 people who work for me, and we do the potholes. Well, this week we've got to repair some potholes over at it's a national. Can I say the name of it?
Sure, of course.
Mavis tires. I don't know if you guys heard
Wow.
of them or not. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of them, but in my area there's 6, and I've been contracted to maintain their parking lots, and you can't seal coat right now. I'm thinking I haven't even tried it, but I was taught a long time ago. I'm afraid if I try to shoot anything down, the parking lot would just puke it back at me, and so I just don't.
So Roger, what was your technique or tip to go after a national brand, and what was the key item or key thing that actually got you in the door with them?
What got me there was cold call. I don't recommend that to a person who does not accept who gets
Rejection.
Thank you. I was trying to think of the word, and the more I thought, the further away it got. But yeah, get ready. If you're going to do cold call, you better expect that you're going to get rejected, because as you go in, you visit with it, and you try to to go through the education end of it. You can almost see the look on their faces, like this guy's just trying to sell me something, and but I don't stop. I just keep on talking. And ultimately what happened, it was a cold call whenever I went in back in the fall with these with Mavis, is I was driving down the street, and I looked over, and it was like, man, their striping looks horrendous. Now, don't go in and start it off like that, but because nobody likes, a good man does not like to tell somebody they suck, and nobody likes to be told that they suck. It's not their fault that they're not keeping up with their parking lot. It's that somebody somewhere dropped the ball, and that's where well, as long as it doesn't fall out of bounds, maybe that thing's still live.
That's awesome, man. I'm gonna say this. Like, one of the things that works well is trying to give some, building a story around something, or building an image in somebody's mind. So as a property owner or a property manager, do they really want to think about their parking lot? Let's be honest. Do they really want to think about it?
That's the last thing in their mind.
So if they don't want to think about it, it's because they're really thinking about their building, their business, they're growing their business and taking care of that, making sure there's enough revenue and cash flow, and that there's some bottom line for them to be able to really, make some money in their pockets and make sure the bills are paid and so on and so forth, right?
Yes.
And so what we can do as people in the pavement industry, what we can do is we can help them to understand that their parking lot is the red carpet to their business, and it's going to help their business. And what our goal is to take the problems and the thinking away from their parking lot. And what we're going to do is we're going to help it look really great. And that will help them, help their customers understand that they truly maintain and actually care about their business. They're taking care of the assets for the business, which means the business is a good business to do business with. And so that's one thing. The second thing is that it prolongs the life of the asphalt, especially when you're seal coating it, right? Doing the crack repair and seal coating. So if we can help people, I mean, the facts are they're spending money right now, regardless of whether or not they do maintain it. That parking lot's costing them money because it's going to need to get replaced after about 15 years. And so they might as well spend less now, make it look great, keep it safe, and and have a great looking parking lot. I mean, to me, that's practicing this stuff, guys, together, even this roundtable thing that we're doing right now. If we can have these conversations together, and as this scales and grows, where we can all be here and do this what happens is we get to share our experiences and our knowledge with each other so that the industry doesn't stay in a place that is just asphalt, but it's a respected service. It's a respected industry where it will be more attractive for hires. It will be more attractive for property owners and managers to make decisions that this makes sense, because we all are sharing this message, this kind of message out in the digital world. And the way that we communicate it is better than maybe if we weren't here. And so like Roger, you sharing right now, and Rod, you sharing, and then, you know, Robert's on here right now who's considering starting a business, and James, and you know, these to me, this is how we come together to make something better. And so thank you for your shares, man. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate that.
Oh,
man.
thank you. Thank
Rod,
you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are guys, we're out of time. I'm gonna try to do this every Thursday. Every Wednesday. This is a Thursday because I had something going on yesterday, but we're gonna try to do this every Wednesday. And so, you know, don't feel obligated, but if you want to come on and share experiences, if you want to give advice to new guys, if you want advice from, you know, guys who've been in the industry for years, I'm going to start inviting some people who are good clients of ours who own, you know, they own big paving companies, they own big asphalt maintenance companies. And if we can get on here and just share all together, I think we can all move the needle in a direction that makes sense, because we really do have a responsibility. Roads and parking lots, and they're pretty important stuff, you know. To say the least. But yeah, thanks for popping on. I really appreciate it. Roger, appreciate you coming on. James, thanks for tuning in, man. Robert, appreciate you, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great night, guys, and have a beautiful time. And man, grow your businesses and smile and have fun. Have fun. That's the key, right, Roger? Have fun. Rod, cool, guys.
Good. All right. Enjoyed
James and Robert, you guys, and Rod and Roger, yeah, guys, listen, hit me up anytime. You can hit me by email. You can hit me up anywhere. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Thanks, Judd.
See ya.